welcome to my podcast, Spiritual Quest, with me, your host, Viveke Garnos, always guided by Spirit. I am very excited to share my gift with you and empower you to embrace your gift. So if you define yourself as a spiritual human being, then you've come to the right place. So prepare yourself now for an amazing journey where your soul will lead the way. Hello, and welcome to another inspiring episode of the Spiritual Quest podcast. On this journey of rediscovering who we are and reawakening to our innate power, we're opening up to new ways of thinking, helping us to realign with our authentic selves. It's about moving beyond what we think is possible and allowing ourselves to trust in our path and the guidance of Spirit. My guest helps people unlock blockages within the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body. Maria Fink is a multidimensional healer, a blue Ray Feline Sirian Starseed, using her clairaudient and clairvoyant gifts to improve her life and the lives of others. She studied various healing techniques, whereas past life regression and hypnosis turned out to be the most influential, opening her up to a whole new level of understanding and integration, which is how Yana Healing, her signature healing tool, came to life. And after a profound heart-opening experience, Maria spontaneously started speaking light language. And now she's working with several groups of divine beings and galactic races to help people clear trauma, remove stuck energy, dark implants, and imprints of rituals, just to mention a few. Maria has lived most of her life in Romania, and living in a communist and post-communist developing country, she firmly believes that everyone has the capacity to break the cycle of pattern and suffering and to move beyond the illusion of limitation and the stories we've come to identify ourselves with, and to leap into the flow of life, which I just love. Okay, so I'm really excited to introduce Maria Fink to the Spiritual Quest podcast. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you. I loved how you introduced me.
Oh, I'm so grateful you allowed me to introduce you. I mean, meeting people from all over the world, there are always something special when we connect. And I don't know anything about you, to be honest. I found you, and then after that, I started to look into your work, and it just resonates. I'm so curious about your whole story, how you ended up traveling from Romania to the States, and how your whole reawakening process began. So why don't we start there, Maria? Would you please share a little bit about who you are and your journey of reawakening to your authentic self?
Yes, with great joy. So I was born in Romania, in Transylvania, and then when I was in studying journalism, I moved to Bucharest. I worked in media for a very long time. I worked in advertising and television, so I was having a very normal 3D life. And one day I went to snowboard, and I had a snowboarding accident, which wasn't very difficult. I just injured my back, um, but that led me to go to a chiropractor. And this chiropractor explained to me for the first time how our body, our emotions, and our minds are all connected. And he told me to go to yoga. I didn't know anything about yoga at the time, and I just thought, okay, this is what the chiropractor recommends is good for my body at this time. So I started going to yoga, and I had this instructor who, at the beginning of every class, would have a speech, and I didn't understand anything of what he was saying. He was talking about illusion and how we are on a spiritual journey, and I was like, whatever, I'll just sit here on the mat and do the exercise during the class, and I don't care about what he's talking. And after 6 months of doing that, I was very consistent of going to yoga. One day when I was listening to him, I realized, oh my God, I understand what he's saying.
Really? Like from out of nowhere?
Yes. All of a sudden, all the information, I think, just clicked, and I started to understand what he was saying. And at that time, I started to go to all sorts of alternative healing modalities. And this is how I discovered angel therapy and past life regression. And I tried them for myself. And in one of these regressions, um, my grandma came through and she told me, "You have to be a healer in this life." And I thought that's hilarious. I was working advertising, and that has nothing to do with my life. But it slowly started to build because of what I was doing. I studied also a form of therapy, coaching. I wanted to be able to work with my clients better, but it wasn't meant for me, I thought at that time. But actually, it was the first stepping stone to make me ask better questions and be
Mm.
more open-minded, you know. And then from that, I said, okay, I will learn hypnosis. And I've learned hypnosis, and I started to understand more about the mind. And then I've learned past life regression. And that was life changing because through past life regression, I realized that we don't have to take our story so serious. We can be more relaxed about what is happening here because it's just another story, and there's another story, and there's another chance at another life, and so on. And then a friend recommended me to study theta healing. And I said, okay, okay, I'll go and study it. And I loved it. And through theta healing, my clairaudient gifts really, really opened. And through theta healing, I learned how to scan people's bodies and to see what is the emotional and mental cause of their illness. And I was hearing very clear voices that was telling me about the illnesses and the treatment. And I want to say something. There's a very big difference between treatment and healing, because
Mm.
treatment is from the outside. You can have treatment in various ways, from I don't know, working with plants, from drugs, medicine, surgeries, anything. But healing is an inside job because it comes from looking at yourself and at your heart and at your emotions and at your thought patterns. And yeah, as you can see, it was step by step, slowly in time. I added up, and I practiced theta healing for a very long time, and I loved it because I thought it's very efficient. You can see immediately the changes in a client. You can test them through muscle testing, so it was great. But at one point, I felt like I want something more. And I was going through divorce. My parents died, and it was a lot of heart pain. And this is how I had my heart opening. You know, when you feel like
Through pain,
there's
right?
not much else to lose, exactly.
That's
Your
something
heart
people
just
should
opens.
notice. Yeah. I just want to say that because I think that's very important message for many people who's afraid of going through the pain, of feeling the pain and moving through it,
Hmm.
but that can actually out open your heart. And so I think it's a
Yes.
good thing that one should think about when you're stopping yourself from moving through pain. I just wanted to say that because I think that's such an important point. Please continue.
Yes. I had no choice but to go through pain. It was my life at that point. And this is how, because my heart was open, um, light language started to come through me. And I was familiar with light language because I was listening or seeing how other people write it, but I thought it will never happen to me. It was not something for me. I just said I'll do a theta healing and so on. But when light language came through, it was so powerful, and I was so resistant for such a long time. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and my hand would be moving in the air, and I would take my hand with the other hand and stop it. And then I had very, very bad pain in my hands, but I could feel like the outside of my hand hurting me, not just the inside. So my whole energetic body was hurting because I was stopping this energy and not
Mm.
letting it flow. So I had a session with a healer, and she told me, I see you doing something. I don't know how to tell you. It's like Reiki, or when people who cannot talk try to speak through sign language. And I knew exactly what she's talking about. I knew she's talking about light language. She said, you need to do that. And I started to walk in the forest every day by myself. And in the forest, I guess it was the connection with nature. It would just come through very powerful immediately. And because I was by myself, I was just doing it. I was moving, I was talking it. And
Can I
it took
ask you
me a
something,
while.
Maria? Can I ask
Yeah.
you something, Maria? For people who don't know what light language is, would you please clarify what that is?
Yes. Yes. So, light language is a vibrational download that can come through your voice or through symbols through your hands, or some people draw it, or some people move their whole body. And the sounds can be tones or clicks, or they can be sounds like our earth languages. But it is very important not to try to understand light language with your mind, because it's a vibrational download that goes beyond your mind and goes directly to your emotions, to your heart, and also into your body. Your body can feel it. And I think this is the beauty of light language, also for me, because I'm a person that I love to understand things. And with light language, I just have to feel it. And that's a different thing. And I find it very soothing many times. I find it very powerful, very easy to awaken gifts in other people, very easy to clear stuff. But this is very important. Do not try to understand it with your mind, but go deeper into your heart and also into the sensation of the body, because this is how light language will help you. Yeah, I was very short, but I hope I was clear on what it is. Yeah. So I don't know where was I with my
Yeah,
story. I guess.
you were in the woods. You were opening up and you
Oh
allowed
yes,
yourself to download this light language. So, what
yes.
happened?
And then I decided to have an event, a group event with another friend who is also doing light language. And it was a group of 10 people. We did it at a spiritual center here where I live. And the energy was extremely powerful. Everyone cried except one person. And I just came home, and for hours the energy was still going through me, and I moved it and I moved it. And I went to bed and I felt extremely grateful. And I said, "Oh, if this is so easy and I can help people so easy, then I'm so lucky." And I felt at that point I don't have to learn anything else. I just have to open my mind and my heart and just allow the energy to go through me. And I realized that all the methods that I have learned in time, they help me to create like a safe space for my clients when I work, and also have a guiding line of how I work. But the light language is just going through this. And yeah, I just like to say I'm a channel, and I like to keep my body as clear as possible, so the energy in the channel is as clear as possible.
Yes.
So from that event, I was on.
That's what turned you on to your gifts, and you started to use your what I call soul resources to help other
Yes.
people. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So, what do you do with light language? What does it gift people who come to you? Like, what does it specifically do with your body?
Okay, so first of all, I use it to clear. I do clearing of all types of energy. I like to start with the clearing of karmic density. That is almost all the time helpful. I clear energy that we inherited from our parents, from our maternal or paternal lines. Also density from our own experience from this time. We can also clear negative beliefs that are no longer helping us. and also all sorts of energy that are stuck in our emotional field, which are not helping us, like shame, guilt, rage, anger, and so on. That's a plethora of emotions. And after I do the clearing, I like to download things. First of all, I like to connect people with the higher expressions of themselves, with their higher self, or with other parallel existences that are on other planets or other dimensions that are higher in expression, or with high vibrating emotions like peace and love and joy and gratitude and respect and compassion and truth and so on. So this is mainly what I do with it. But also at times, light language is very good to activate your gifts.
Mm.
So
I have
whenever
a
we are
question,
ready,
Maria. Can everybody speak light language?
my personal belief is that yes, because it is also called the language of the soul, or love language. And I believe that we cannot be taught how to speak it. We just have to remember it. And just how I remember it spontaneously, I think everyone does it at the right time for them. And I believe there are some people who already let this energy go through them and they channel it, but they don't know it's called light language. Maybe they make beautiful drawings, or they do a sort of dance and they say, oh, I feel this trance state and I just feel a sense of gratitude and grace and joy. It can be that, it can be light language that is coming through your body. You just don't know it's called that. And
I want to share something, Maria. May I share something with you?
yeah,
Because it's pretty interesting what you're sharing with me right now. Because I've been channeling a group of high frequency beings called Sirius in the Order of
yeah,
Seven. And I've done that for like 15 years now. And so in the early days, they would come forward and I would start speaking another language. And I have that recording. And people would ask, what is this language? No. And they would just refer to it as um, a language from another galaxy. So they would
exactly.
never say it was light language. And so when I discovered that there is something called light language, and I heard you do your light language, and I've heard other people, and I can sense the tone. We've gotten a chant downloaded from them that me and my group use all the time. It's all about self love and to open up to the higher vibration of the universe. And it's such a powerful, powerful healing tool, not only for our physical bodies, which is why they taught us this the first time they came forward with, I presume we could call it light language now. So they would come forward and share that. They would have the whole group. I was in a trance because I'm a trance medium. So
Hmm.
I would start chanting this and they would join in, and it would be a healing energy that would be filtered through everyone sitting there, and it would go through all their four bodies, and they would be aligned, and the pain of the physical body would just evaporate. It was pretty amazing. But I never knew what it was called until 2022. That's when I figured out that, oh, that's what people call it. It's light language. So it's
Exactly.
funny. So people might be listening to this thinking, I've heard people share something that we don't understand what is, but okay, that's what it is. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
share that story because I think it's pretty amazing, doing this and then coming full circle, understanding and being able to take it to the next level. So I didn't know what it was, but I knew the effect of what was going on. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Exactly. And I also saw on your site you have a light language symbol. From my perspective, it looks like a light language symbol. And I saw it and I just thought, oh, that's so beautiful. I don't know if you
Is it
downloaded
a
that
heart
or a
with a
designer.
fire inside?
No, it's something longer with some arrows like.
This one?
Yes, yes,
I
yeah.
channeled that. It's a symbol from Sirius in the Order of Seven. It's called the Unity dimension of Unity symbol. So so it does have a meaning. And
Yeah,
it is downloaded, and yes, it's channeled. And I do have it in gold as well. I only use that when I do my spiritual work, like I do ceremonies and stuff when I very high. So I have it in gold, and it's actually my group has also these, so we
that's
use them.
amazing.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah,
So yes, there is some stuff coming from the other side, high frequency, and I never knew what it was. I just received it, and I think that might, for people hearing your story, Maria, and listening to us having this conversation, I never really looked at myself as a very spiritual human being wanting to know what all this was called. To me, it was just authentic, it was natural, it was organic, and I just allowed it. It was just an allowance. And not until now, when I speak to people all over the world, I have my personal experiences and I can kind of, from my perspective, okay, so that's probably what is defined as light language, because everything is a definition and it's
yeah,
different perspectives. But it's just amazing to see how we can come together in the understanding. That's the oneness of it to me. And that's why I love speaking to other people and getting other perspectives, but because we're growing all the time. So I just want to thank you
that's
for
true.
sharing and sharing your gift with the world. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank
Share more.
So yes, I don't even know what I was saying. How I use light language for clearing, downloads, and activation. But yeah, I think the most important part of my work is working with people who are going through an illness or a disease, because they can feel it on their body. They can feel less pain or less tension. And also, very, very important, people who had a surgery, many times they don't realize that through a surgery, your energy channels can be interfered or even cut, the cut of a surgery. And through light language, I reconnect again those energy channels, because it is an energetic type of work. And also I clear a lot the interference from the surgery, because when your energy field is completely open, your body is open, but also your energy field is open, you're under anesthesia, you don't know what is going on at some levels. And you can pick up energy from who is doing the surgeries, from the drugs that are used, because they have a certain consciousness also. And then hospitals are not the lightest environments, in terms of energy. So I really recommend anyone who went through a surgery or was in a hospital and had any kind of intervention in the body to work with someone who can do a clearing and clear all these energies, and also clear as much as possible the consciousness that is affiliated with extremely powerful medicine like drugs, with anesthesia, antibiotics. Antibiotics, if you look at their name in Latin, is anti-life, because they are killing bacteria. But you are ingesting them and that is helping you. But after that, you have to clear the consciousness, because you have to be pro-life, not anti, when you are in the body. So yeah, this is something that I really, really enjoy doing, because I can see the changes in people. They can come and tell me how they connected with some memories, or how their body felt better. I recently had someone who told me that she didn't think is very important. She had some surgery around her chest maybe 40 years ago, and she said she was still carrying the doctor's anger, and she didn't realize it till she let it go. And just imagine being an empath, you pick up energy from all over the place, but going through a surgery and you're completely open, and you pick up maybe even more. So you can do it yourself, or you need someone who can help you clear that. And yeah, this is something that I really enjoy doing, because I can see the connections between different things, and it's very satisfying when we can have the body feeling lighter, and also emotions more calm and joyous, and so on.
So when I read about you, you also, it was mentioned that you define yourself as a multidimensional healer. Is that
Yes.
kind of what you're talking about, that you're using all your different healing techniques, but also um, your gifts in supporting the human journey or the spiritual journey. I mean, the whole journey, the four
Yeah,
bodies. So, would you, is it different? Is it, please, could you just share with your words, what is a multidimensional healer in your perspective?
in my perspective, and in what I do, is someone who works with the four aspects of a being, and that is the physical body, the mental body, so our thoughts, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. We have to do some work that is soul based. And I believe there are certain times in our life when we have to start with just one. For example, there are people who go to classical therapy, excuse me, because that is what it helps them at that moment, and it's difficult for them to unlock what is stuck in their emotional body. So they start with the mind, and that's great. But I like working with all four bodies because I think we cannot separate them. In our human experience, at all times, we use all of them. Maybe we are not aware, but at all times we use our physical body, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So that is why I like to bring them all together in my work. And also, I say it's multidimensional because I work with beings that are residing in other dimensions. My wish is to be a channel for this being who reside in a space of love and compassion and truth and divine healing, and to allow them to work to my body in this dimension of humanity where we experience all sorts of things. I especially work with Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, and they are just the embodiments of kindness and feminine energy and lightness, and I just love both of them, and maybe that's why my name is also Maria. And I also work with galactic beings, with especially beings from Sirius, because I also have a very strong connection with Sirius. So
Oh, I
yeah.
want you to tell me more about that. I mean, what, first of all, for people who, now I'm getting really excited because we're moving into, we're opening up for, the guidance of spirit, and
Hmm.
you're defining, that you're from Sirius, right? And so my question is, what, first of all, for those who don't know, what is a starseed and
Hmm.
what is Sirius?
So I believe a starseed is a person who is aware or not that we don't experience life just here on Earth, that we can experience life on various planets, on in various galaxies of universes, and at different level of vibration, um, ranging from 3D to how many Ds are there. D being a dimension, and in various types of bodies. We can have physical bodies, we can have holographic bodies, we can have energetic bodies, and so on. And I know that I have a parallel existence in Sirius. I can see myself as a lion being there, and I'm also in contact with this being who's helping me through my human quest here. And what is Sirius? Sirius is a planet. It's a planet where great healing and great joy is happening, and the Syrians are in various shapes and forms. They are not just like humans. They have a lot of different forms. They are aquatic beings. They are lion beings. They are energy beings. But Sirius has always been very close to Earth, and I see them as our big brothers who are guiding us.
Mm. Interesting. To be honest, I'm not that familiar with Zirian, but of course, I've heard of it. But my spiritual team refers to Tresna Imperium, which is also a galaxy, which they say is very, very close. And I just spoke to some. another spiritual teacher not long ago that informed me that um, Tresna Imperium was actually in the galaxy of Triangulum, I think that's what it's called. And it was just so amazing to connect with people. We have our different ways of understanding where we've been, or where we carry soul resources, as I call it,
Right.
where I channeled, the light language from Tresna.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was interpreted it, that it came from this planet. And what we are here as transninins, that we carry vibrational, which they refer to as transninins. And that vibration is what many of us that is in my group um, resonate with and carry as a soul resource. So when we come together and we activate this through the channelings, that vibrational, the energy that we create together has great healing potential and great healing power. So we actually filled a crystal, selenite. We did a lot of ceremonies. We filled it with Tresninins, the unconditional love from Mother Tresna, which she refers to as her sister planet, which is Mother Gaia or Mother Earth. And this crystal was brought up to, it's in my book actually. It says that these crystals, that we should light up each continent. So this crystal was actually brought up the mountain and placed on the mountaintop of Dik Tau, which is on the border. Listen to this, on the border from Asia and Russia and Europe. The continent.
So it's
So
connecting.
it's yes, so it's right there, and it was placed there in 2000, and I think it was 2017 or 2018, and it's been placed there on Dictau and filled with that energy. And they've explained that that energy is moving through the mountain, it's moving through the wind or the snow, purifying the environment, going in and into the mountain. And not only that, it's being brought by the winds. And it's just thinking about what's going on in Ukraine and Russia right now, knowing that we placed that crystal there before everything happened, and we now have that opportunity to lock onto that and feel that connection and send that healing power, because it's on that big mountain and nobody sees it because it's been placed. You have to be a mountain climber to get there. So it's not like people can walk there and take the crystal. It's placed, and it's just now sharing that love, that unconditional love, that healing power, right? Because we've opened up to our soul resources of being from other dimensions and other galaxies with that understanding. So for me, not knowing what I was doing, that this is something other people think, I just did it because it was right. It was my truth. I owned it and I wanted to share it. It doesn't make me any different than anybody else. It's just I had this calling within me, calling me to do this. So that's why I'm so fascinated with Sirian and you understanding that you have this parallel life, because I feel the same way. And it's just
Yes.
lovely to connect with other people that have the same experiences, and to come together and to share that message, because I think there's so many star seeds out there that will
Yes.
resonate with this. And that's my hope. So my hope from the spiritual quest to everyone listening, please share it, because I want to share it with the whole world. I want to light up, because that's what my spiritual team said. You need to light up the continent, each continent, and it will be a huge beacon of light. And that portal of energy will bring so much power through the star seeds and through everyone who's here, through the activations. So we just need to open the portals. We just need to be opening our hearts, our portals to our hearts, and be aware and receive and be that transmission of unconditional love. See, I get so excited when I talk to you.
Yes.
It's like talking to a soul sister again. It's like, yes.
I
I'm sorry,
love that.
Maria, I'm taking over.
No problem. I would like to say something that I think connects with what you just said.
Please.
So I live in South Carolina right now, and 4 years ago I started a Starseed group here, a Starseeds gatherings, Charleston Galactic gatherings, And I started it because I just wanted to have around me people that are interested in this. I was surprised with how many people started to show up at these groups. And right now we meet twice a month, every second and fourth Monday of the month. And we also do in other Mondays meditations, or we just go out to eat and so on. So it's very nice to have a group of people that resonates with what I think is interesting and important for me. But besides that, it was 4 years ago, at the same time when I started the group, that I received information that I should start doing these walks, especially downtown Charleston in some areas, and just clear the land and certain um, buildings. And when we started to do that, it all made sense because Charleston was the port where slaves were brought from Africa into America, and they were kept in these buildings, and there is still a lot of suffering imprinted in the land of Charleston and in the buildings. And we are still doing these clearing walks. And also the guidance that we received is that when we will activate the ley lines, or the lines of the earth, at one point we will activate an etheric crystal that is in the sea, is in the ocean, because we are by the Atlantic Ocean. And when you said about your crystal that is on top of the mountain, I just felt that they are connected, through lines of energy. So we are
Yes.
doing our grid work also, anchoring pillars of light in different places of the world. And these pillars of light are creating a network that in time is becoming stronger and stronger. This is what I believe.
Yes. Yeah, go Maria. It's so, yes, that's exactly what we're doing. And this is also why I'm saying it again. I've said it many times on this podcast, but that is one of the main reasons I'm doing this spiritual quest. I've had my groups for, we've been together for around 10 years, a little bit more, 11 years. And we've been doing this work and we've been traveling to different sacred places. We've been to Iceland. We opened the portal to Tresna. We have pictures from different locations where we have these big, huge orbs. I mean, we've experienced so much um, magic, if you wish, that it's indescribable with words. You have to be there, you have to experience it. And when we come together, like you said, I'm just guided by this. It's just natural in me. I feel that calling that I need to connect with certain people. And I always give out into the universe. I ask my spiritual team because they're the closest to me. Those are my coworkers, if you wish, my spiritual team.
Yeah,
And I ask them, please bring me who I need, because they were the one who said you need to start spiritual quest. So I did season 1, I did season 2, but I knew there was something more to come because I needed to connect the dots. Just like you're saying, we need to connect the energy fields, or the what did you call it, the grids, or to activate the
the grid.
grids.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
energy grid.
And so getting to know people from around the world, that is why it's so important for me to share this podcast, to meet up with other people so that we can be aware and become aware that we embody so much power, and it's time to reawaken to that power because we are so powerful, and coming together we can completely transform the world we're living or seeing through our reality at this moment. And it's not only about our personal ascension process, it's also about understanding that there is only love. That's the only thing. It's
Yes.
what we choose, right? So it's about loving yourself. It's about loving your fellow man, your brother, your sister, and coming together in unity because we love this planet, because we love
Yes.
humanity. And we have to see through the illusions of, our own personal suffering. And I know it's, I'm not trying to dismiss our personal suffering because that is what allows us to open up our heart portals. But I'm still there where I'm thinking, okay, many of us have already been through a lot of these shifts, right? And we know and understand we've had these experiences, and we need to be more open and vocal about it. And so that I am hoping, and by you sharing your light language, you're sharing your journey, that's what brings hope. That's And I think humanity needs hope now. I think we all need hope that there are so much good, and I can see it. I can really see it in you, in people I meet, and in the world in general. Even though I see what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, I am in Europe. We're the neighbors to Russia in the north. We are a small country, but still, it's like there's no fear. There's always, you know, love. It's all about creating and using our power to creating the earth we want, to focus on what do we want, not what is limiting us. What do we want? Okay, I'm getting excited again. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would just like to add up something to what you said, because you mentioned hope. And right now, there is so much access to information. Technology is great because, look, we can talk like that, and people from all over the world can connect with us and see us and hear us. So it's amazing. But at the same time, I think there is so much misinformation spread. And my question is, whenever I listen to someone and their message is, does this feel empowering? Does this give me hope? Does this make me feel better? Does this make me feel more joyous, more peaceful, more calm? Or it puts me into a state of fear? Because there are some spiritual teachers here who are saying, oh, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. It sounds very dark and defeating. And when I listen to that, I choose to disconnect and say, no, I want to connect with people that are spreading the vibration of hope and empowerment. And this is something that I want to spread to people. Empowerment, you're so powerful. You just have to remember it. We have so many tools that we can use, just forgot them, or maybe we didn't know, but we'll remember, or we will learn how to use them. So this is an unsolicited advice for whoever is listening. If it doesn't feel good, and if it doesn't make you feel empowered and hopeful, disconnect from that message and look for a message that brings you in a place of joy and love and trust and healing. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. I think that's so important. And that is also, I mean, I do meet a lot of different perspectives on my journey and different people with different um, resources. And like you said, it's all about the vibration. It's where it's coming from. And so I think I've said this 1,000 times as well, but I'm going to repeat it. I think I've done all the mistakes in the book. If there was a book about spirituality, I probably did that mistake of listening to people I shouldn't listen to, because only to figure out that, oh, that doesn't resonate, and that actually put me in a bad state, or I didn't feel well, or like you said, we all have that power. And I think it's so important in these times that we are more discerning. I think that's the word, to look inwards and to take care of our own and take responsibility for our own vibrational attunements, and to really tune in and listen to what our heart is telling us, and to connect, to reconnect. That's why the reawakening to the power of the universe is such an important topic for me this year, because I think we all reawaken to our resources all the time. And we discover, I learn something new every day. And that's why I love doing this. And I love waking up in the morning thinking, what am I going to learn today? It's not like, listening to people, other teachers that might say that they know the answer. I'm very much, okay,
Mhm.
I'm not so sure. I'd rather figure that out myself, and to see how that resonates with me and my vibration, and and not focus on the negative parts, if you wish, the fear part. I know we are living in a duality of light and darkness and good or bad, and but it's all about that centered, that pure channel, as you're saying. I call it being a pure channel of love. Like, if we can realign our four bodies to be that channel, to be the channel for our souls, our spirit. And I want to share something, also. My spirit guide Zarius, he says, on a soul's journey, we are all one. In spirit, we are all alike. In knowing this, there is no discrimination. That's actually my favorite saying. I mean,
Yes,
he keeps
it's
repeating that
powerful.
every. Yeah, I'm like, yes, you go, Sirius. You go. I'm like, I rather listen to that kind of vibrational love and high frequency than listen to people claiming that they know more about your soul or somebody else's soul.
Mhm.
It's all about helping people to discover, to rediscover their through
Exactly.
authentic vibration. So that's why I enjoy, the work you do, and I was very excited to speak with you because of that. So
Thank you.
yes. So share a little bit about the blue ray feline Sirian Starseed. I think you called it blue
Yeah.
ray Feline. What is that?
Um, Feline Starseed is someone who has a parallel existence on Sirius or Lyra. And in that existence, they look like a lion being or like a tiger being. So if you would see me on Sirius, I look like a golden lioness. They are also white or blue or black and so on. I also work with the white lions of Sirius. So this is what a feline starseed is. That you are in your parallel existence in a feline embodiment. And blue ray is just a type of energy, just like indigo is, or crystal, or rainbow energy. Is a signature. It's a vibrational signature, a certain type of energy. So
Yeah,
I
but
hope
how
I
did you
explained
just?
it.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you answer this. Please, well, answer it again, please. How did you discover that you're a Blu-ray Feline Syrian Starseed? I mean, how do you go about
Oh,
discovering that?
through a very powerful meditation one day where I connected with my parallel existence and with my parallel family because I have a family on Sirius. And I cried so much. And I just said, take me back, take me back. I want to go back. But they say, no, you volunteered to go to Earth and you have to finish this. And
Ooh,
this
I
is how
recognize that.
I discovered it. And since then, I'm in contact with them through channeling or through meditation. Yeah. And they explained to me that this is my vibrational energy signature, but I could clearly see them and I see myself very clearly how I look there. So, yeah, this is how I discover. So, I recommend everyone just do a meditation or ask your higher aspect to connect to you in your dream state or whatever is good for you. They are just there waiting for you to say, hey, I'm ready to connect with this, and they will give you a sign. So
Good tip. Yes, definitely do that. For me, a lot of information comes through meditation or just walking in nature, just being still. That many forms of meditation, but just the
mhm.
being present and the expansion of consciousness, just feeling, being. That's when I usually get the information and I read the energy of the environment, or at least that's how it comes to me. So I can resonate with the meditation part of that. Um, Another question for you, because a lot of people are looking for their mission, or at least star seeds that coming to Earth. So how would you define your mission in this life? Have you found your mission? It sounds like you
I
have.
think um, my mission is to heal. I am a light healer, and my mission is also to teach and to remind people that they are powerful and that they are not just this human body, but they are more. And there's so much power in remembering that you're a soul and you have soul gifts. So I think this is my mission. It doesn't sound
Mm.
very complicated. I I
I
think
like
many
that you
times,
said that. It's not that complicated. Many people complicate what their mission is a lot of
yeah,
times, or their purpose even.
yeah,
And for me, it's like I feel like I've had so many different purposes throughout life. It always changes based on my frequency and vibration, but my mission is what I dedicate my life towards. It's not like my life mission, but it's what fuels me to keep on being a part of this planet and going through this human experience. It's like my mission is to move through, use all my soul's resources the best I can, and allow the highest vibration available to me at all times through the alignment and that work that I have to do, and to connect with other people, other strong souls, and to just to connect for the unity of everything, for the unconditional love, for the transformation of this planet. We all need to do our part in this ascension process from Mother Earth and humanity. So I think being on a mission, it can be defined as, not something maybe you do, but who you are, like how I discovered all of who I am. It's not like,
It can be so many things.
yeah,
Um, I believe many people have an expectation like something big or grand, but sometimes your mission can be to be a great mother or a great school teacher for a kindergarten. If your mission is to bring in nurturing energy, it can be expressed in that way. Um, so I believe that doing what brings us great joy and peace is connecting us to our mission. And sometimes our mission is not grand, it's not about saving lives, it's about having maybe a small impact just around us, but it's just as important. And if you came here to Earth to experience that, then that is what you're supposed to do, and it's great.
yes.
Yeah,
So go for it. Whatever you feel is your mission. And like you said, I love that you said that whatever makes your heart bubble with joy. That's what my spiritual team say. Does that make your heart bubble with joy? That's easy word of, does it give me joy? Does it make me happy? Does it bring me peace? Am I a free spirit doing this? It's kind of checking in to my higher self or my soul, just to check out that before I make a decision, is my heart bubbling with joy? Is part of my mission? My mission is to be happy, to be the best me, and just allow the vibration of who I am, my authentic self. Like we started this podcast talking about, how do we discover our authentic self? That's, I feel like, is my mission. And to share and be honest about our stories, and just, we're regular people with our stories, like you said, we've experienced, but the stories does not define us. It is us coming up, showing who we are, sharing, and being vulnerable in who we truly are. And hoping, or not hoping, or for me, hoping that that will bring inspiration or peace, something to lift other people, to empower other people. So that makes
exactly.
me want to ask you another final question, Maria. Time flies, but I love this conversation. But what would you say are your best tips and maybe tools for people struggling with finding out who their authentic selves are?
Um, just take time away from anything, because there is a lot of consuming right now, consuming of information, of media, of food, of alcohol. Take a few days or hours yourself not to consume so much, because in that space your desires, your true wishes, your truth will come up. So that is my number one tip. Maybe stop consuming. It's just like when you're trying to create something but you're eating at all time and your body is busy. It's the same with entertainment, with meeting people, with going shopping. Just sit a little bit and allow yourself some moments of quiet, and in those moments, through your breath, connect again to your body, because the body is so intelligent and it knows everything that is good for us, and it will never lie to us. Uh, and through your breath, connect to your body and see what does feel good in your body. When you think of something, a small thing, does it feel good in your body? Does it feel relaxed, peaceful? Does it feel like it makes your body less tensed, or it brings attention? And that is how you will know. Your body is the perfect instrument to tell you what your soul wants. I think is That is why it is the temple of our soul, because it knows exactly and it never lies. So this is it. Just take a few moments of quiet and ask your body, because your body will definitely tell you.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And I do appreciate a breath work. I breathe a lot myself. It always pulls my soul into my heart again. If I'm in my mind, whatever, I call it centering myself, and I need to use my breath to really feel that and to breathe through my four bodies just to make sure that I'm aligned and just be aware. So thank you for sharing that. And before we end the conversation, Maria, is there any word of inspiration for the audience before we say goodbye?
Any word. Just one word,
No,
or
a sentence or any words of inspiration that people can bring from this today, something that might have helped you on your path.
one question that I like to ask myself and write down the answer. Do I truly want this? Because when I put the word truly, I connect to my higher self and not my ego. So, whenever you want to do something, ask yourself first, do I truly want to do this? Because in that moment, your soul will align with truth, and you will know exactly through your body, of course, if you truly want to do that or not, whatever it is. To start a business, go out and meet a friend, even eat a thing, a simple thing. So, yeah, this would be my word of inspiration, connecting to truth to your through your body.
Mm, thank you. Thank you so much, Maria, for sharing your
Thank
gift with
you.
us today and for this inspiring conversation. And for you who's listening or watching, if you'd like to learn more about Maria and her services, then you'll find her contact information in the episode description. And before we go, and before I end this, I've got some exciting news to share. I need to share this. The Spiritual Quest Masterclasses is finally here. So, some of my favorite podcast and live stream guests are now sharing their knowledge, wisdom, and insight with you through the Spiritual Quest Masterclasses, where they teach on their topic and share valuable resources in support of your spiritual quest. And you can learn more about what masterclasses are available right now by clicking the link in the episode description. And one last thing, if you find these conversations valuable, please leave a review in your favorite podcast app. That would surely make my heart bubble with joy. Thank you again, Maria, and thank you for
Thank
listening and
you.
watching.
Thank you for this opportunity. It's been a great pleasure and joy. And also, I feel very grateful to you and for the space that you're opening and connecting different people all around the world. And you embody a very beautiful and peaceful energy. So, thank you for that.
Ooh, thank you so much. Sending you, Maria, and everyone who's listening, love and light from me, your host, Vibeke Garnos, always guided by spirit. Bye now.
Goodbye.